for joining me. Figured I'd do a quick update on things in my life. I've got a lot going on right now, and I apologize for the video quality. Things bouncing around as I'm driving. I've got a bit of a wobble in one of the wheels on my Lincoln. It has a radial pull on the right rear, so it's kind of messing with the alignment continually, and there's also a vibration to it. But right now I'm on my way to Mineral Wells to the Novice Garage drift event, and at the end of the year, the Mineral Wells drift events will be no more. Unfortunately, the parking lot is being sold off and going to be used by another company or the government or something for helicopters, or I don't know quite all the details of it. But my goal is to make it out to these last few drift events held by Novice Garage and Upshift Videos to kind of commemorate the last few events at that track. Sorry I'm not talking directly to the camera, but I do have to keep my eyes on the road because I am driving on cruise control at about 75 miles an hour down 20 west, heading out toward the event. I'm going to try to start providing frequent updates on my life. I have recently had some life changes that have put me in a situation where I have a lot more free time, a lot more time to make videos, a lot more time to go to events, be a part of the community, do photo shoots, and so forth. So I hope to develop a lot more time to my YouTube channel. I also recently passed 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all very much for subscribing to me and my crazy adventures. I now have the opportunity to try and monetize the channel. I don't have much hopes that it will be anything substantial, but I hope to continue working toward that end, to monetize the channel. My goal is to create revenue streams of location-independent cash flow. So think, YouTube, think remote work, small jobs here and there. So to that end, I am studying programming in Kotlin. I desire to work as an Android programmer using Kotlin as my main language, and also some Java. So I've gone about finding some free online classes to help get me started in that direction. I'm really good at self-learning, so I have confidence that I'll be able to take those classes and run with them. Also, I've found a wonderful website called remote.co, where there's a ton of remote work, remote jobs from every sort of genre. It's really hard to find remote work that's not scammy or spammy, that's, some, hey, work from home, make $5,000 a week, some really unrealistic, some just weird off-the-wall thing, or doing some kind of annoying sort of work where you're just like cold calling people, or some weirdness. But on remote.co, there's some really wonderful resources that allow you to work from wherever there's an internet connection. Some jobs require a more sturdy connection than others, so they want you to be on a wired connection, not wireless, not a hotspot or something of that nature. So it's something you have to look into when you go to look at these jobs and apply. This frees me up to have the ability to move anywhere in the world that there's an internet connection and still be able to make fun, make revenue, have an income stream, which is ideal for me because my life has been so chaotic. I have lived in about 6 different states, 7 if you include Puerto Rico, which is actually a territory, not a state. But I've moved around so much, I want to be able to commit to a job and take it with me. The unfortunate thing is, because I move so much, I've become accustomed to changing jobs frequently, which is not great for my resume, but also not great for my income, having to start anew here and there and everywhere. It's given me a wide variety of work experience, but ideally I want to find a way to sort of settle down. The other thing is, it's a dream of mine to travel the North and South America in a camper, in a truck bed camper, preferably towing my race car behind the truck. That or a toter home, but a toter home is extremely expensive, and a lot of maintenance goes into that. There's also some toy haulers that can be that kind of convert, but they're like a 40-foot trailer, and that will limit me in some of the places I can stay, park, or even put the even some RV parks. I believe 40 foot is right around the limit of what they'll let you park on a spot. Having a truck bed trailer, having a truck bed camper, sorry, and a trailer is considerably shorter and frees me up with the ability to park in a lot more spaces. And then if I lose the trailer, not lose, you know, lose, but like if I take off the trailer with the car on it and leave that somewhere safe, you know, in some paid in a paid storage area or something like that, then I can take that truck bed camper anywhere I please. I mean, like, I can park that thing literally just about anywhere and stay for the night. It just really increases my mobility. I can go off-road with it. I can reach some very hard-to-reach campsites and really get some beautiful views out of the way. But also, I'm contemplating moving to Colombia. And if I do so, I'll probably be spending a short time in Puerto Rico, living rent and mortgage-free, utility-free, essentially, at a house that belongs to my wife, in exchange for maintaining the rental property there, where there's 2 rentals, one Airbnb and one long-term rental. So having a mobile income, you know, doing remote work and YouTube would free me up to be able to move there and continue to make funds and pay down a lot of the debt that I have. I also, I'm ashamed to admit, I have a lot of back child support that racked up during my first year living in Puerto Rico. I had no employment, or no real employment to speak of. I had like a short-term job that was a contract job for about a month and a half, but it was barely enough to feed my family. We were living off of child support from her ex, my ex that I moved down there with. So unfortunately, I got way behind, and if you're even $1 behind on back child support, the state of Maryland will prevent you from getting a passport. I don't know if that's all states, but in particular, the state of Maryland will not permit it. Being able to live without having to pay rent or utilities would enable me to really attack that in a meaningful way and get that paid down to a point where I should be able to get a passport and go ahead and move to Colombia. And I want to stay there. I want to get a dual citizenship. I think it would be pretty cool to have both a U.S. passport and a Colombian passport, be able to come and go as I please, you know, be able to work out some good tax situations where probably there's some incentives. I know in Puerto Rico there's a lot of incentives for outside investors to come into the country, invest there, start businesses there, and there's generally a lot of tax benefits to doing so, where a lot of the income that I earn, you know, I'm also considering doing some Airbnb in Colombia as well, where I wouldn't have to pay U.S. tax on that. It would be Colombian tax, and I believe it would probably be next to nothing, considering that there's probably some incentives to do so. So I don't know, we'll see, we'll have to see where all of this goes. You know, my future is very uncertain from one day to the next. My life is constantly in a state of flow, constantly in a state of change. I'm kind of like water, like the Bruce Lee sort of analogy of, you know, water just fits in whatever glass or whatever place it's put, and it takes that shape. And that tends to be the lifestyle that I live, where I go to a location and I adapt, I move in and I assimilate, and then I stay there until it's time to move on to the next thing. I don't grow too attached to any one place or another, but so far of all the places I've stayed, I think the most attached I've ever grown to a place is Puerto Rico. The culture there is incredible. The people there are just such lovely human beings, and I just really enjoyed my time there. The climate, the natural beauty. You know, Colombia is very similar. Unfortunately, there's a lot more poverty there. I was looking at the price for vehicles, And what you would pay for a used vehicle here in the United States, like specifically Texas, you know, you would probably look to, let's say, if you were going to get maybe like a 2004 Ford Mustang GT, you could probably pick one up for between $4,000 to $5,000. In Colombia, if you're going to pick up the same vehicle, my goodness, you're looking at a conversion of the Colombian pesos to US dollar of around $12,000. Like, legit, $12,000. I'm not kidding you. And that's for just like, I guess because everything there is, you know, like imports. From what I understand, cars and electronics are ridiculously expensive. And if I do wind up moving there, I definitely want to include some of that in my channel. I want to go to some dealerships, new and used. I want to go and see what these electronic shops are and try to give you the conversion rate so you can get an idea of how, you know, people joke about these first world problems. Really, truly, there are some places on this planet where, you know, these things that we take for granted in the United States are such luxury items that they're out of reach for a good majority of people. If I do wind up going to Colombia, I want to visit some of these car dealerships, new and used, and show how blessed we are to live in the United States and to have these luxuries that a lot of us take for granted. You know, it's almost a rare thing to see someone driving a moped, but that's generally the most common mode of transportation you're going to see in most of these countries in the developing world, these, you know, third world countries and stuff like that. So it's you know, it's such a blessing to be able to go and buy a car like the one I'm driving right now for $3,000, and it'd be an excellent luxury car with everything working on it. The other thing is there is no real drifting to speak of in a country like that, because as you can imagine, number one, the vehicle is incredibly expensive. Most people don't have the money to even buy something like that, and most of the recent cars that have been sold there are economy cars, which are generally front wheel drive city cars, where they're very small, very compact, you know, in that sort of segment where the cars are very small, very you know, very economic fuel-wise, and front-wheel drive. Japanese cars. There's a lot of Chinese cars being sold there, which is kind of interesting. So as far as like sports cars, rear-wheel drive cars, there's not many. I mean, you have to be like, you know, I joke, but drug lord status is probably something I'm going to refer to a lot, being that our one of the more infamous drug lords of history was, you know, Pablo Escobar, and he's from Colombia. So that you know, it's kind of hard not to talk about the country and financial status and not kind of make a crack a joke about, you know, drug lord status of income. But you know, generally the more wealthy people are the people that are going to actually have new cars or sports cars, and they're incredibly rare to see. I want to focus a lot of my photography on trying to find those sports cars and find sports car meets, and see if I can grow the drift community there. I did find one guy, and he's got a pretty good YouTube channel. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, and I'm sorry. I'll try to link his YouTube channel in the description, so do check for that. But he's got about 5 or 6 friends in some really older cars, not, you know, like cars I've never seen before in my life, like something from the 70s, 80s maybe. Oh, and that's another thing. Weirdly, there's a lot of Mustangs for sale there, model year 1980, and like, I don't know what it was about 1980, but apparently there was a lot of Mustangs sold in 1980. Because when you go on their you know, classified website, that's pretty much all you see when you get to affordable Mustangs, is just a ton of 1980, not 1980s, like literally the year 1980 Mustang. So that's another interesting thing. Like, I'm fascinated with the culture there, the car culture, you know, just living life there. It's going to be so fascinating, and I'm really looking forward to at least visiting, but hopefully living there someday. So we'll see how it all goes. And I'm getting kind of close to my destination. I'm actually diagonal from a white Scion, BRZ, FRS, 8.6 that is, and it's got a little Akina Speedstar license plate surround. So I have a feeling we're kind of headed to the same direction. It's got this cute little wing on it though. It's like it's a Subaru BRZ, and it's got this tiniest little wing. Like the spoiler is like so dainty looking. It's like the cutest, tiniest little spoiler. This nice little raised spoiler on it. I'm tempted to pick up the camera and flip it around, but I'm afraid to drop the phone. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I can't even. I don't even think I can. No, I can't even flip the camera. So what I'll do is, let me see if I can. I don't know if y'all can see that. I have no idea what you're seeing, but there's a cutesy little white FRS with the tiny little wing. Let's see if I can pull up beside him here. So anyways, I'm going to focus on my driving so I can drive alive. I do apologize for the quality of this video. It's just kind of spur of the moment. I decided, hey, I got about an hour drive. I might as well take advantage of that and get some recording done, you know, get you guys updated on my life. I'm gonna try to start a weekly video series, just, you know, life updates, all the weird random stuff that I get into, tech reviews, cell phone reviews. I have a surprise cell phone on the way. I want to kind of save it for the last minute and try to do a real nice review on it. Hopefully try to get to, you know, MKBHD sort of style review level. Also a little nod to Jerry Rig Everything. I really admire his reviews as well and some of the things he does. And the phone that I have coming is kind of, I don't want to give too much away about it, but it's got a see-through back. That's what I'll tell you. It's got a transparent back. So shout out to Jerry Rig Everything and his transparent back phones. So I think he might like this one. It's amazing to me, but he has actually not reviewed this phone. He's not done a teardown on this phone. He's done a teardown and a review on a similar model, like the mother model of this phone. But he's not done a specific review on this one, which is kind of surprising to me because it's very much his style of. I just think he'd get a kick out of it. So I don't know. I hope he sees my review of it. I hope that maybe I can get a shout out on his channel or something like that. But that's, you know, that might be kind of unrealistic, seeing the level of subscribers and how big his channel is. But I'm really excited to do it. It'll be my first like serious cell phone review. I'm also going to do a comparison of this phone to the new phone. I really love this Essential phone that I'm recording on. It's been my daily driver for 2 years now, I think a little bit more than. But it was released in like mid to late 2017, so it's starting to show its age. And I'm having a problem where it's rebooting itself at random, which is really making life difficult for me because I have the security setting where it won't boot into the, like it won't like unencrypt the device until I've entered a PIN code. So the device stays locked. I don't get any notifications. I think I get alarms, but I won't get phone calls, I won't get text, I won't get anything until I punched in that PIN code. Problem is, the phone's reset itself in my pocket, and I don't yet realize that it's done that, so it can be in my pocket for an hour, 2-3 hours at a time when I'm at work, driving around, making my deliveries, and I don't realize until I've got back to the shop and I pull my phone out of my pocket to check and see if I've got any messages. Oh man, my phone's been rebooted for an hour, and it's been just sitting there, and I've missed a bunch of notifications, even important ones from work. So I think it's about time that I move on to a better device. But the one that I did purchase was released in late December. It was at least released in December of 2018. So yes, it's still a year. It's a year behind. But the advantage of that is the cost. I'm able to get, you know, really excellent devices at a considerable discount from when they were first released, and they're still really good technology. I mean, it has better specs than a Pixel 4, and the Pixel 4 XL released this freaking year, which is really amazing to think that a phone released in late 2018 has better specs than a phone released in late 2019. I mean, I don't even know how that happens, but it does. So look forward to my review on that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. Again, please like, subscribe, subscribe to the notifications. I have a lot of things to come, and if you're interested, please follow along. I really hope to keep you entertained. If there's any questions you have, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to get back to you and answer them. Because my channel is small, I'm able to respond very quickly to comments, and usually within 24 hours I'll have a reply for you. Anyways, with that, take care, and hope you guys have a safe week, and see you in the next one. Peace out.